Hey, Schaefer, be honest, man. Have you ever retired somebody from Jiu Jitsu? I'm talking like they quit, they never came back.
Yeah, man. I probably have a couple of stories about that. What about you?
I think I'm guilty too, man. I think I'm guilty.
All right, everybody. You probably hurt somebody in jiu-jitsu. It happens. We're going to talk about it this time on Open Mat Chronicles.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Open Mat Chronicles, 1865 Rod here. We are coming back at you guys again every week. And as always, we got my man Schaefer in the house.
What's up, everybody? Schaefer in the house. Having a good time. It's rainy out, but I'm still having a good time. It's all good. So, man, Rod.
What do you got?
Yeah, this one's kind of messed up.
It is, man. It's bittersweet.
So this is out there to all of you in jiu-jitsu land. Have you ever, intentionally or unintentionally, retired somebody from the martial art or the sport of jiu-jitsu? Have you ever put a either a beating on somebody so bad or something snaps up and you just
never see that guy
never
again.
see him again,
and you know you were responsible. That is all bad, huh?
That's bad.
What do you think? I think if you're honest, okay, here's my thoughts. Okay, look. If you're it's a little subjective, but if you're a black belt in 2025,
right,
that means you probably started training at minimum a decade ago, right? For the most, there might be an outlier, but let's say for 2015. Okay, so in 2015, bro, we were going ham back then, right? Think about it.
I think
we were going ham. It's like the nicer roles just started in the last like 5 years, I would say. You know, we're working with each other. We're trying to help each other. That was not around in 2015.
Okay.
We were trying to murder each other. But anyway.
It was definitely
more aggressive.
It was definitely more aggressive.
Yeah.
So
that's my theory. So my theory is that's one. I got a bunch of bullet points, but that one is that, okay, if you're a black belt of today, you probably did. You probably retired somebody, and you may not even know it, but I guarantee you did.
Think about this, right?
You're guilty.
Look at the stats. They say that, like 80-90% of people who start jiu-jitsu hit blue belt and they stop,
they quit.
Right? So it's like if most people, some actually don't even hit blue belt. So if most people don't hit blue belt, most people will quit jiu-jitsu. Out of those, a lot of them are due to injuries here and there. Maybe they got tweaked and they were like, oh, hell no, this is not for me. So, but if they got tweaked, somebody probably tweaked them, right? How many of you are the ones that tweak somebody and made them stop coming?
Now, here's the thing. Like going back to my first point, if you're a blue belt right now, there's a good chance you haven't retired anybody. Because number one, you have less time in the sport, and you came up under a kind of like a nicer era, right? So maybe the cutoff might be brown belt. I think brown belt, you got some years in.
Okay.
You know.
Well,
maybe purple, maybe purple.
Check it. I'll even say for the blue belts now. Check this out. Because if most people bail at white belt, well, there's other white belts who hurt each other and then they quit. So, I mean, you could be a white belt and retire somebody from jiu-jitsu partially because you're spazzing out and you're just like, oh, shit, how do I do this move? I'm just going to squeeze harder. I'm going to bend faster. I'm just going to twist it this way and then twist it the other way and see what happens. And sometimes what happens is snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I don't like jiu-jitsu anymore. And that's not knocking anybody who quit jiu-jitsu due to a catastrophic injury.
But that would be an injury, yeah. Like a white belt's probably not going to get you in like a submission and break something. I don't think.
Yeah, the hell they would,
so?
Dude. Because they
right.
don't know how to stop.
Yeah,
they don't.
They're
like.
I'm thinking it right now while I'm saying it.
Because
like
most of the times I got hurt.
You and like they'll hyperextend your arm without. Yeah, you're right. It could be. Okay.
White belts hurt me more than anybody.
Yeah. So I guess it could be anybody, but I think you have a higher likelihood just due to numbers because if you're a black belt, you've been on the mat for a decade.
Yeah, over time.
So there's more opportunities for that to happen.
Over time.
Yeah.
But then again, see, also for me, I think I hurt less people as I got higher up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, all right, I'll give an example. So, real cool guy, you know, we rolled a lot. I think we came to the
what's his name? No,
evening classes and day classes. I mean, we were always there, right? And good guy. He was maybe, I think he hit his blue belt, and we're just going at it. I think we were working butterfly guard. And so he's got me in butterfly because we do a lot of butterfly out there at John's. And I took my shin, and I think I drove it across his ankle while he had me in butterfly guard.
You did a Uso.
Right. Well, no, I did a Harold. I think I've been doing that way forever, dude. It's a good submission. And I don't even think I did it as a submission this particular instance. So I went over, and it just snapped. Oh, man.
What belt were you?
I was probably purple, late purple.
Who are you rolling with?
He was like a blue belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either he, I'm pretty sure he's a blue
I can't
belt.
say that there's nothing wrong with that.
So, it just happened. Like I said, we were working butterfly, and we all do butterfly over there, but it snapped, and I felt terrible. I was like, oh my God, this is super fucked up. So he left, and I don't believe he ever did jiu-jitsu again. Yeah. Now, I still know him, still friends with him, still talk to him. I was over his house years ago since then. But holy crap, I felt terrible, dude.
How bad of a break was it?
It put him out of work for months. Oh, man. Yeah.
Was he law enforcement or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense because like one of mine was a law enforcement guy too. Because like you can't risk it in law enforcement.
You really can't. No, you really can't. I mean, you've still got to be on the move. Yeah.
And here's the thing.
He already knows. I apologize. It's like it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. It's not. It wasn't intentional.
Nah,
and
hell no.
That's the one that you know of.
Yes.
How many are there? Because like, man, the hero guy, I quit, dude.
There could be some.
He wrist locked me too hard. There are some. I guarantee you, statistically, there are probably a gang of people out there that like, man, I hate Harold.
Yeah, I guess they could be out there. If you.
Right, because these are the ones that we know. We saw the injury right there. Oh my God, it's an injury. What about the one that just like you just beat the crap out of me? It's like, man, this is too much. I didn't sign up for all this.
All right, if you're out there and you hate me,
public apology.
What they say? What's the commercial? If you've been injured by a Harold and you think you should all get together and do this class action suit.
Yeah, really.
I will throw out a blanket apology to anyone who's ever quit jiu-jitsu because of me.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
I know.
What about you?
I had two that I know of, just two. So that's still not good. But I had one, and what was I at the time? I was a blue belt? I don't remember. You were there when that one happened. But it was a white belt, right? And he was super aggressive, always rolled like 100%. He was always Mr. Tough Guy. And I think I ended up doing a leg lock on him. And the mistake that I made, I wouldn't do this now, so I take a little bit of responsibility, is I went belly down. And the way that I did belly down, like I wasn't doing it quite right. So I was kind of facing away from him. Belly down, usually you're like at 90 degrees. You can see the guy. Well, I went all the way, 180 degrees, right? So which is not doing it correctly, actually, right? So because you could put your feet in jeoprdy. He can catch your feet in maybe a toe hold or something.
Ankle
but
lock
I was
or
still
knee bar?
It was a belly down leg lock.
Okay.
Right? So it's really not the best way to do it. So I did it improperly, but the leg lock itself was legit, dude. But I cranked it pretty hard, and I held it. I was holding tight. But the problem with that is that I couldn't see him. And he freaking spazzed out and rolled is like a freaking wind-up toy, dude. And I couldn't see to let him go.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't really experienced enough, nuanced enough to feel it. I just kind of had that grip on it.
Right.
I hold it because this guy's crazy. And obviously his knee just went pop, 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 pop. He was done. And yeah, he had to get surgery and all that. He was done. He came back, I think, once with this little cast on or whatever, and he tried it again, but it was just never.
Wasn't working. Yeah,
no, he was done.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, he's a nice guy too. But
yeah, and that's usually what happens, right? It's always somebody who you're cool with, you like them. You never get to bust up somebody you didn't really like.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess unless you're the mat enforcer and that's your job. But
Paul Harris.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, like see a guy like Paul Harris, he's out there. Yeah. He'll catch you in the heel hook, and he's just like, well, you're never gonna walk again.
That's straight
buddy.
Evil.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's evil even for MMA. The guy would be tapping. He would just still he just literally ignored the tap.
He's
like,
in the zone.
I don't care.
He's in the zone. Yeah. I don't know. What about you guys? You guys ever like get out there and you hurt somebody? Let us know, man. Tell us your war stories. Or, oh my God, has anybody put you out for a long time too? I mean, that sucks too, man. Like being on the receiving end.
I've had
though,
both. I've had both, but you know what?
I work around it. Like, if I get hurt, I try to work around it.
I
And
work
know
around
that's
it, man. I'm not.
smart.
Put it this way, it would be very, very unusual for me to get hurt so bad that I quit.
Right.
I guess if I broke my neck or something like that,
Well,
maybe I would. But
I
I
was
mean,
about to say.
oh
Remember?
yeah, you did break
I
your
broke
neck.
my neck.
I'm talking about your traction, the freaking body cast. you
Yeah.
know?
Thankfully, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It was definitely a broken bone in the neck, but it did not cripple me. But oh, dude, I was jacked for a while. Like I had to go get like the therapy done. I was going to our chiropractor buddy constantly, and then just in traction. I mean, even to this day, it's crazy. It's like it's one of those things. Like I could have my arm straight out, and it'll just lose power, and it's like freaking just drops, and I'm like, holy crap, man. Yeah, getting hurt sucks.
It does.
Getting hurt sucks bad.
Like I've been injured before, obviously, but usually for me to be like a knee pop or something like that, and it's really just happens. It's not anyone's fault really. And sometimes, honestly, if I look back at it, they were partially my fault too. Because I could always just say tap or maybe just accept a sweep or whatever it is. So it's part of it. It's not a big deal.
All my catastrophic injuries, I think, could have been avoided. I think I can think of one where I was like, oh shit, it just happened super quick. And that's when I felt like my elbow got dislocated because, like an idiot, don't do this, anybody. The guy's got side mount. He lifts up. I put my hand, palm up, on his hip to try to push him away.
Oh, that's horrible.
He dipped his hip in.
He's doing the hip switch on you.
Oh my God, elbow just snapped up. I was like, well, that's all bad.
Yeah,
But that was my fault, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's totally
I think I
your
was
fault
like,
there.
dude, I had to be a purple belt when that happened too.
Yeah.
So I should have known better.
Because that hip switch, that goes quick, dude.
Yeah, and so that happened super quick. But then I got caught in an Americana. And that was just my ego said, nah, hell no, I can get out of this. I'm not letting him get this. I think he was a lower belt than me, too. I was like, nah, not today. And all I heard, pop, pop, pop. I was like, oh shit,
man.
out for months. Or at least out with that arm for months. I had to just fight one-handed.
Yeah.
Damn. And then even with the neck break, it was like another big, giant black belt got me in a freaking Kesekatami, starting to do some crazy shit with the neck.
Eric Paulson type.
And I'm like, I'm getting out of this. I'm like, I'm not tapping. Pop, pop, pop. Still ended up tapping. I was like, damn, that was dumb. So I got another one. What about you? You got another guy, or you want me to tell you?
Go ahead, you do yours. I got one more. I got a short.
So, and this one sucks too. Really good buddy. I want to almost say, man, I hope it wasn't my fault, right? But I know that right after he had kind of drifted away from it.
Yeah, I'm talking about ones that are legitimately your fault. Like the ones I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure it's my fault.
The knee pops, that's comparative negligence.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't aggressive, but maybe I didn't tap. So we're both a little bit at fault. So I'm not saying that.
I think we were rolling, and it was probably I think it was like the belly down knee bar that I was showing.
Dog bar.
Yeah, the dog bar, some people call it. Yeah, so I was hitting that, and I think it got him. And I know he was out for a little while, and he was like, oh, yeah, my knee's jacked up. And then
that's a rough one.
Yeah, and then he just drifted away. And I was like, shit.
That dog bar did him in.
And the other thing, again, another guy I'm super cool with.
Did it pop, though, or no?
I think it popped.
Well, the dog bar is very hard.
I think he had to get surgery on it and everything, too.
That's all bad, dude.
Yeah, so that sucks.
You're guilty.
Yeah. Well.
Did you hear it? You heard it pop, and was there a conversation?
I don't even think I didn't hear it pop or anything. And I honestly didn't know for a fact that he was the injury was
did he
serious.
walk off limping or how?
Yeah, but we always walk off limping. A lot of people walk off limping. I didn't think it was that serious.
That would definitely hyperextend your
turned
knee
out to
pretty
be
bad. The dog bar
is
pretty serious if you get caught in that.
Man, my boy Emery, he's the one who showed me that years and years. Oh my God, I don't even know how many years. 15, 20 years? Nah, maybe 15 to 17 years ago he showed me that. And dude, I love that freaking thing.
Yeah.
And I do it whenever I do the old school sweep.
Yeah.
I always set it up right from there. But he always hits us with it. And and I think I was telling you after class, he used to always rock a cup. So he wears an
Oh, that
athletic cup.
Oh, good.
And,
Good job.
And so he's rocking the cup. He'll belly down with that knee bar and just drive the cup into your knee.
Wrong, dude.
Hell yeah, it's wrong.
He's wearing a cup for offensive purposes. Strictly offensive.
He's carrying a hidden weapon.
He's like, I got something for you, Era.
He's like, I got something for your ass. Hell yeah. All right, who's your other guy?
Dude, so my other one, it's not that exciting of a story. We're just rolling with the guy, and I know he's a cop for sure. Dude, I was working with this guy, nice dude, and he was relatively new, maybe white belt, maybe a stripe, if that. I was a blue belt, and I just regular leg lock, but I just was a little bit more aggressive back then. I cranked it, and it cracked his leg like pop, 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 like 3 pops. Just never saw him again. And this guy was coming in like 3 days a week, dude. After that leg lock, he never saw him again. I'm like, I 100% know that's why. And I feel bad, but he's a cop though. He can't walk around with a busted ankle.
Absolutely not, dude.
There's no way.
He's got to feed his family.
I don't blame him, but I felt really, I did feel bad on that one, but I didn't. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I probably didn't have the control that I needed. Right. It was
and now through all of this, you got to understand, right? Yeah, whether you had the control or you didn't have the control. We're in a combat sport. We're in a martial art. We're in whatever. It's aggressive at times. So I'm somewhat forgiving when these things happen, right? Including to myself, because it was no intention. By no means were we looking to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It happens, right? I can think of every injury that I have. I don't know that anyone really was intentionally trying to injure me. So that's why I don't take it personally. If somebody does injure me, I'm like, holy shit. I might call them a name or something in the back of my head, but I don't actually hold animosity towards them. I remember I got my finger snapped sideways because I was just trying to demonstrate in my class like this one simple move, and whoever I'm going to go into it. They did this really quick shift, and it just folded my finger the wrong way, and it was jacked for the better part of a year. Like just lost power in it and everything, and there was no need to even defend the move because I was just demonstrating. Right? I was actually teaching the move, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why the fuck did you just do that? But then I go, he didn't do it on purpose. Who knows what he was thinking? He was like, if I do this, you can't actually get the move. Because we know a bunch of people who do that regularly, and they need to stop. When people are practicing a move, don't give them resistance just for the hell of it. But it happens. So I was also going to touch on how many people have you seen hurt other people?
We did have one. We had one incident recently, but it wasn't an injury. It was just the guy was too rough.
Yeah.
He was just way too rough, and the other person quit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. People leave.
Yeah.
Because it's like.
That's more common. You just won't know. You'll never know why. Yeah, but
it's just they quietly exit.
Yeah, what is it? The Irish goodbye.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Irish goodbye to our school.
They never, ever come back. And it's like, shit. We might have lost somebody who could have been great.
You're right. That's the sad part about it.
But it was just like it turned them off because they were like, this place or this person or this group, they're not the right environment for me.
Because I think we're having less like devastating injuries. Like this guy's got his whole.
I agree.
And I think that's a good. And here's another theory that I have. I'm always coming with these theories, but I think it's because so like I started in 2011, right? So in 2011. We were rolling way more aggressive, like I said, right? That's when we were all going ham, right? But think of the guys that I started with. It's like Trevor, freaking Julio, all those, those super good guys. Those guys used to beat me up all the time. They rolled like 100 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
But those guys were like in their early to mid 20s back then.
Yeah.
Now they're in their 40s. They're getting older. Trevor just turned 40.
Right.
So he's he's still like a beast mode, but maybe everything's still a little bit less than, he's not going 1,000%. You can tell he's not going that crazy.
The maturity of it just kind of slows you down. Yeah, because
a 20-year-old Trevor's still trying to figure out like how tough he is, you know what I mean? This guy already knows who he is. He's got nothing to prove, but he just still rolls aggressively, but not as aggressive as he was like.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying,
by design, he's not trying to.
Right. That's why I was mentioning before that I think the earlier belts is where you end up hurting other people too. It's where you get hurt, and it's where you hurt other people.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I remember one of our old podcasts, I talked about our boy like jumping up with the young boy, and he took him from the penthouse to the freaking basement, and he cracked his ribs, right? And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, it was both these guys. They were like freaking giant bull in a china shop.
Oh, yeah.
The pair of them, they're big, huge, strong guys, and they were doing big, huge, strong guy shit to one another. And I was like, ugh, you gotta chill out a little bit.
Okay, check this out.
Uh-huh.
We had those guys from Davis. Shout out to Davis School, man. I don't know. What's the name of their school, though? Do you know? Those are guys from Davis. I don't know. I shouldn't have shouted them out because I don't even know the name of their school.
Anyway.
But they were cool guys. Gentleman John brought them in, his friends. A bunch of really good guys. Think of that guy, that one big dude. He was like, big guy, man. Must have been over 250, right?
Yeah.
Purple belt, solid. Rode like a small guy. He looked so smooth.
Right.
You probably don't see that as much back in the day. You know,
no,
that would be a
I don't think
rarity.
so. It would have been more beast mode stuff.
More beast mode. You know, just use leveraging the strength, and that was legit. So I like that. So here's another reason why I'm wondering too.
There were some guys that were big and smooth. Like look at the guy from Vegas.
Stefan's smooth. He's big.
Kerr, not Mark Kerr. Jeez, Frank Mir. Frank Mir was like huge and strong, but he fought like little guy Jiu Jitsu.
I don't know.
But he could always crank it up and actually snap something off. He's the one that fought Brock Lesnar that very first time.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he like just rolled into a freaking like a twisting footlock.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's got smooth Jiu Jitsu. But yeah, you get those bigger guys back in the day, and they were probably more about leveraging strength and size, even though they had good technique. But their technique was big guy technique. You know?
Big guy technique. Yeah.
Now,
you might know? Did they have those conversations back then when you started? Harold, don't use strength.
Yes.
You know, did have that?
For sure. Okay. Because I mean, think about the origins of jiu-jitsu. It's the smaller, weaker guy is supposed to be able to take on the bigger guy because of superior technique.
Yeah.
So when the bigger guys would start fighting the smaller guys, you'd always hear, "Don't use your strength, dude. Use your strength."
Yeah.
To which I always said was bullshit because I'm like, well, wait a minute. Tell him not to use his speed. Tell him not to use his flexibility. Tell him not to use this. I'm like, look, we all got what we got, you know? It's like, take what you have and develop the best technique you can with what you have. It's why I tell, I don't tell people not to use their strength. I just go, just make sure there's some technique in there too.
Yeah, have some technique.
Make sure there's some technique in there.
Because it sounds good on paper, but if you're like 3 times stronger than another guy, or you're like way bigger, stronger, then you just know who's going to want to roll with you. That's the thing. It's going to be self-defeating.
But you know what? If no one rolls with you, I mean, it sucks. Nobody owes you a roll.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to just limit yourself constantly either. Find somebody who can roll with you. That's where I would say, hey, you know what? Go find a school of bigger people. Because I don't think you should have to eat shit because you're stronger than somebody. It is what it is. It's like sometimes it bees like that.
Yeah.
So who else have I seen jack people up? One of our new guys. His ribs are a little messed up right now, and I'm like, yo, just chill, you guys. Like, I think a lot of times you got your earlier belts, they're fighting, and they really think they're fighting. They're not training. And
that's what I'm saying. It goes. Well, I don't know if that's using strength, but it's similar.
Well, no, I mean they're using what they have.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to temper it and bring it down to that 70% yet.
Yeah.
They're still trying to win.
They're trying to win, basically.
They're trying to win and not trying to train.
They're not trying to train. They're trying to win.
Yeah.
And that may come out. If a guy's way bigger than you and way stronger, he's going to use what he's got.
Because he wants to win.
Because he wants to win at the end of the day.
Look how many people jumped on Amy's ass when she used to fight him, and she had better technique.
Oh, yeah.
But you would get this guy, 200, 250, and he has no technique. He's just starting, and he's like, oh, I'll be damned if I'm going to let this tiny girl beat me. But it is what it is. Like, she could out-technique him. Yeah. So he wanted to win. So he would grab her, and he would try the best he could to manhandle her, which still didn't really work because he was still at least still trying to do
He was still
jiu-jitsu.
trying, yeah.
He was still trying to out-wrestle her. He just didn't have the freaking skill. So all he had was strength, and that's where the technique can come in. So
because at some point, he'll start getting a little bit better, and then that gap is gonna completely nullify her technique. She's just too small. She weighs 115 pounds. She died.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So now it's like He needs to make adjustments in his game.
And then that's the maturity level, though, right? That's him going over time, and he's like, oh, I get it. This is what they mean by don't use my strength, because I'm trying to learn this move, and I'm fighting somebody half my size, half my strength. Well, if I want to learn from this person, I got to roll with this person. And the rolling is, okay, this technique beat this technique, this one beat this one. I let myself get out of position because I wasn't paying attention to something.
Yeah.
Whereas, could I have just said, oh, instead of me getting out of position, I'll just pick you up off the ground? Of course you could. But there's where the strength comes in, right? So...
Because it's like even like me rolling with like Shorty. Shorty's a small guy. What is he, like 130 pounds, something like that? So like I'm like significantly heavier than Shorty, even small version of me, right? But I never try to muscle things. Like if I can't get I'm not gonna try to force something. I won't. And then when it comes to speed, he is fast, dude. Shorty's so fast. But you know what? He makes me go fast. I just try to adjust and go as fast. Like, okay, it's gonna be a cardio workout. And it's what makes it? It's a tough, fun roll, though, man. It's freaking fun.
It is.
Because, like, I'm adjusting to him.
He's all over you.
Yeah. I'm adjusting to his game, and I'm going to try to go as fast as I can to, and versus, like, I don't want to just necessarily just try to slow him down and I'll power him.
Right.
I want to try to play his game a little bit. Because I notice, like, the guys do that with me, like Big Michael. He'll let me play my game with him.
Right.
And it's fun roll, and it makes it more... It's more challenging that way versus just him just saying, okay, screw you, Rod. I'm just going to try to submit you 20 times. And I think that
works also because you're still looking at your higher belts again.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Let's take this super fast technical brown belt who's small and put him against a big, newer white belt who's just big and strong.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure, I get him.
And so let's say Shorty's way, way faster than this guy. Well, are you going to tell this big guy not to use his strength when this guy can, when Shorty can outpace him?
Oh, no, not on early like that. No, I would never say early like that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like...
No, I'm saying that conversation's for guys that have a little bit of jiu-jitsu experience.
Yeah, if it's just the two guys and they're both kind of beginners, sure. Like I said, then you say, hey, just calm down. Try to figure it out without really hurting each other.
You're expecting him to use strength, aggression, speed, everything he's got because that's all he has, no technique.
When you have a big belt disparity...
Yeah. I'm talking about the guy that's maybe he's got maybe a year in,
Gotcha.
He got some time in on the mats. Now maybe make it a little bit.
Right, but you don't want them. You don't want like a guy with a year in. I mean, hell, let's call him out. Like,
don't use
we got James, who's freaking big, strong. Congratulations on your latest strike too.
He's doing well.
But so he's big, he's strong, he's picking his technique up super fast.
He's got about a year and a half in.
But imagine if he also just decided to only use his strength, we would be like, calm that down.
Yeah.
You're better than that. You got other things. Your techniques are coming up. Use your strength to augment your technique, because Trevor is a great example of that. Trevor has plenty of technique.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he uses his strength to augment that, because you're thinking, oh, shit, he's got this freaking Americana. I could usually get out by doing blah, blah, blah.
But I can't.
And he goes, no. He's like, I got you, and I'm going to hold you, and I'm going to finish this.
I like what you said, though. You know what I like what you said? You're better than that.
Yeah.
That's the best way to actually phrase it. Because it's like I know these guys have good technique at some, and I don't want them falling to that lowest common denominator of I'm just going to go, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you.
Right.
And I know some basic defense, so I'm going to try to smash on you, So, yeah, I like that. I like them to try different things, you know. But if you're going there trying to win, it just, I don't know, man. We always have these conversations, but I think... Because a lot of jiu-jitsu comes down to that, really.
Yeah, it does. But right, everybody's just trying to fucking win.
Yeah,
but I've also, and I have said this to people, slow the fuck down. See, because I'm not going to be one-sided and just go, oh, don't use your strength. I tell people, don't use your speed. I tell people, slow down. I'm like,
100%.
I'm like, yeah, of course you can outpace him. Freaking Mike, he can outpace damn near everybody,
Square
right?
Mike?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not.
He's not a conditioned wrestler like you,
right?
So
it's like, you've got speed, you've got stamina, and you could press the pace that someone who's another blue belt just can't keep up with, right? That's good technique because you're using that along with your jiu-jitsu, and that's becoming your game.
Yeah, he's getting good too.
But if you want to improve your technique, that means you need to dial speed down.
Yep.
You need to dial that explosiveness down. You got it. Nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah.
But the same way a guy who's super big and strong should dial it back, someone who's super fast and freaking and overly athletic should dial it back.
You know, it actually, it's going to be true for everybody. Like, even if a guy that doesn't necessarily have super speed, super strength, but he's just got really good technique, dial your technique back if you're going against like a blue belt. You don't have to use freaking black belt level technique on him. Dial it back.
Fight him as a blue belt with two stripes.
Yeah.
Like, remember what you were when you were blue belt, 2 stripes. Fight like that.
Fight like that.
That way, you're giving them a chance to work. Now, just fight above them.
Yeah,
a little bit above them, right? But
every role should be challenging, I think, whether you're rolling with a brand new, you know, one-day white belt or another black belt. It should be like, man, I kind of work for that role. It should be, a little bit of a challenge, you know.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
And while you're doing it, just try not to hurt anybody.
Trying to hurt anybody. So going back to why they're not getting hurt as much, I think, okay, so my theory continues. Okay, so what I got here? I got to read it out.
Or better yet, try not to injure anybody. Because I always say this too in class. I'm like, we're actually trying to hurt each other. Try not to injure anybody. Yeah.
Okay, so there's more older students in general compared to 2011, 2010, the early days. You got more, just more people, right? And a lot of them are older. So because of that, they're dialing it back. They're not rolling as hard. We have more females, right? Females bring a certain nuance to the sport, right? They're very technical, but they're not going ham. Most of them are. I mean, I don't know.
Sure,
I'd have
for the most
to
part.
Competition black belts. See how they probably would go ham, but
yeah. Hell, we didn't even get into freaking putting people out in competition.
Yeah. No, but I mean for just normal training. Yeah. I'm sure that they train wisely, and they're because they want to compete all the time. The last thing they want to do is get injured by some dude who's maybe he feels threatened because she's got him wrapped up in some triangle. He's like, oh man, I'm trying to figure out.
He's like beast mode. I'm getting out of this.
Yeah. So,
and that's for sure, right? Yes, I think that having that older crowd, having the changing demographics of jiu-jitsu also did cause a lightening of. Yeah. It made it a little softer.
It did. I think in a good way.
It brought the gentle back to the gentle art because
kind of did.
Because jiu-jitsu's always been the gentle art, but I've never really seen gentle jiu-jitsu, right? I've always seen people just kicking each other's asses. And again, that's like 20-something years of jiu-jitsu, and then even the years I used to watch it before that, it's always been really rough.
How's it gentle if you're wrapped up in a Peruvian necktie? That's not gentle.
Yeah, right? There's nothing gentle about that.
Nothing gentle about that.
There's nothing gentle about that. And then, the whole... The Gracie, the younger ones, the brothers talk about, hey, jiu-jitsu's for everybody, blah, blah, blah. And we've talked about that too. Yeah. I don't think jiu-jitsu's for everybody. I think everybody should try jiu-jitsu, and you should see if it's for you or not. But it's not for everybody. No. And when they're kind of pushing that idea, it's for everybody. Well, everybody does. They come in and kind of try it, right? They come in.
You get a black belt. You get a black belt. Everybody gets a black belt. Oh my
God! Please, let's not go that far. Oh my God! Let's not make JoJo this
thing. For everybody. No, but we talked about that though.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't want. To be perfectly honest, I don't want everybody to do jiu-jitsu.
I don't either.
I don't want everybody doing jiu-jitsu.
Everybody should try it. Why not?
Well, because I don't want it to have to become weaker and softer and come down to the lowest common denominator in order for it to be all inclusive.
Thank you.
So
we call that
sometimes
the Facebook effect.
Yeah, right. I'm about to say it's the Facebook effect. What do you say? Once your parents and grandparents start getting on it, people go, I'm good.
But think about it.
Start getting away.
It's true because that's what kind of killed Facebook, right? Because all the old people start doing.
Facebook's dead?
It's not Instagram or TikTok. That's for sure. It's like you have it because you've had it for many years. You're not
right.
going to go.
I never let Facebook.
First social media. I'm going to get on Facebook. No, you're going to get on something else.
My first social media was Black Planet. All right, so it was exactly. Man. So I was on Black Planet, and then we were on what's the one with the guy who's MySpace. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is like when your parents start doing something, it makes it not cool anymore, right?
Right.
That's just the way it is. It's a circle of life. So it's always been like that.
Jiu-jitsu to have the Facebook effect.
Yeah, you don't want to get that way, right?
I agree.
It may at some point though.
I don't want it to not be cool to do jiu-jitsu.
It still has a cool element to it. And what happens is it loses its coolness factor.
Okay. I can
If
see it.
everybody's doing it, it's not cool anymore because everybody's doing it.
That's true. There's a
Cool things are always niche.
there's a oh man, nobody's gonna get this reference. There's an old movie that I love, The Color of Money. And he was
Who was
talking
that
with
again?
Tom
Oh,
Cruise.
Tom
He's
Cruise,
playing
yeah.
pool.
Great movie.
I'm a huge pool player. I used to play pool all the time. And there's just one line when he was just talking about like the older people all played 8-ball, and now the newer generation's playing 9-ball. And he's like, oh, all these young punks or whatever playing 9-ball. And he was like, hey, if everybody's doing it, that's a lot of people doing it. And he was just like whooping this guy's ass as he was telling the story. Super cool. I give Tom Cruise his props for that. Best damn movies. It's better than Top Gun. Damn. Anyway, so Facebook effect. Don't try to make it for everybody. I mean, be welcoming and say, hey, come in, give it a shot.
Yeah.
And if they don't like getting sweat on, well, guess what? Probably not for you. All of a sudden we're saying, hey, don't work so hard that you might sweat because we don't want the people who don't like sweat to get sweaty. Come on, it is what it is.
Just by the very nature of the sport, I don't think it'll ever reach that point to where it's
Nah,
the Facebook
I don't
thing.
either. It's always going to weed people out.
Yeah.
It's just the natural order of things.
I remember we had this one lady come in one time, and she looked like freaking Miss Barbie, right? I'm looking at all like 120 pounds of her.
Right.
She's the typical look like, the realtor look.
Gotcha.
She had a lot of makeup on, and she had a little leotard thing on. She's ready to do jiu-jitsu, try it. I'm like, why are you here, lady? Dude, this is not. So, like, I didn't even want to work with her, bro, because, like, it was just like, this is a waste of my time. Not to be like, I just, you could just size people up, you could tell. And I made an assumption, but I was right. But anyway, Gus like, no, bro, I need to work with her. So I'm working with her. I'm like, man, this lady does not want some big sweaty guy getting her in side control or closed guard. It was like, she was like super awkward. You could tell. It was one of those things. She was just too much for her at the same. And she's talking about how tough. She goes, oh, I'm tough. I'll be back. Man, I never saw her again.
Yeah,
it's like it just clear. It's not
like that,
and it's fine. It wasn't.
But then
for
we
her.
got the flip side. We've got two smaller young ladies that are in our class now, and they could easily fit the same exact dynamic that you just explained.
Well, they don't come in caked down with makeup.
They
don't come in with caked down makeup.
Well, no, all right, fine. Everything with makeup. So they come in and they're putting
doing
in
their
work.
business.
So I'm like super proud of them. I remember having to tell one, I was like, ooh, they came in, I think, did she have a nose ring or an ear ring or something? I was like, that's got to go.
Yeah.
I was like, that's got to go. Oh, if you don't do it, everybody, help your friends out there. If you see somebody show up with some damn jewelry exposed in their face or head somewhere, let them know they should probably either tape that up or take that out, because it is not cool to see your nose or ear get ripped open.
Yeah.
There's another way to put somebody out forever, because they're like, whoa, this shit, I didn't expect that.
So check it out. There's a third, that lady. I retired her if I just put her in side control.
Yeah, I mean,
no, but you know what it was?
Side control can be pretty traumatic.
But it was like, it was
I know.
It was the makeup, though. That's what made me think, like, this lady's not going to stick. Because, look, you're going to come into a martial art, and it was kind of a lot. It wasn't like, I get it. Maybe a girl wants to have her little vanity. I get it. Very little eye. What are they? Mascara, whatever they call it.
Right. Yeah.
Rouge.
That's always a weird
she had
one
all
for
that
me
stuff.
Too. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're about to get sweat and all kinds of stuff.
She had a little bandana. She's like,
grinding your face and whatnot. I'm like, look, dude, don't wear a bunch of freaking perfume. Don't wear a bunch of freaking makeup. Just like I say, dudes, don't come in here wearing freaking high karate and trying to like. Nobody knows what high karate is.
I know what high karate is.
Don't come in with all your Axe freaking body spray. Just come in neutral, damn it. Come in with a nice, simple, neutral, smell like nothing, and then fight. You're going to stink anyway at the end of it. So.
But now here's the thing. What if I don't think we had any females there that day. I don't think any females were in the class that day, and I was like the default guy. The day the girl came in that I mentioned.
Oh, so right. So you had nobody who could actually work with her.
What if we had a female work with her? Maybe it would have been different.
For sure. And it could have.
Because that was her first experience. It's like, this sucks.
And, I mean,
but at some point,
it's a relatively still male-dominated freaking martial art.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. And, hey, welcome. Come on in. But just you're probably going to deal with a bunch of big, sweaty dudes. Yeah. It is what it is. Maybe even some little sweaty dudes. Yeah. Any way you look at it, there's going to be some sweaty dudes.
But I would think that if here's the thing, this is what I never got. Okay, you're a woman, and you want to learn jiu-jitsu for some self-defense, right?
Uh-huh.
So why would you not want to train with guys?
Well, yes.
I mean, like, those are the ones that are going to attack you. Typically.
Dude, that's a whole episode in and of itself because you're right. You're at some point in time, you're going to have to actually face the thing that you're probably going to have to face
preparing for
in a self-defense situation. But I also understand why you can't just hit the ground running with all those situations. So you know what? We actually have to bring some of the ladies in and actually have a full-on self-defense.
You're right, because they may throw a point that we're not even thinking of right now. Because like I'm not looking at it from their point of view. Really, I can't.
Oh yeah, all right. You'll never understand because you're not that. So yeah, and I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to listen to other points of view.
Because think about it. For them, it's like for me, everybody's Trevor basically. That's what it'd be like.
Yeah, that's what it would be like.
Everybody I roll with is a Trevor.
Yeah,
that's another woman.
Yeah, so I mean,
that would suck.
Yeah, but
just different versions of Trevor.
You gotta work your way through it.
But they do though. They managed to do it.
Yep. We got plenty. Look, about to hit black belt pretty soon. In fact, we got a couple of our lady friends who are on their way.
Yeah,
I don't know if I already congratulated Amy. I think I did because she got her brown belt. And,
oh yeah, she's brown belt now. Yeah, Becca's brown belt too, right? Shout out to both those guys, Becca and Amy.
She was day one. I think she was the first person that I ever, as a black
they
belt,
would actually be perfect to have
belt.
on to talk about all this stuff we're talking about right now. Would be Amy and Becca.
Yeah.
They would get it.
They would definitely get it.
All right.
Heck yeah. And now the other thing, like I said, people, if you can remember a time where you put somebody out, let us know. Throw that one in the comments because I'm interested actually in just hearing the stories.
Yep. I want to hear some stories.
And if you ever were on the verge of leaving yourself because of some crazy shit that happened, put it out there, man. Let's talk about it. Other than that, that's pretty much what we got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you get out there, pass this out, share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until we meet again.
Yeah, definitely put it in the comments. In fact, I would do this. Even if you don't remember, put like a star or something in the comment. That means I retired somebody, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's completely anonymous.
Yeah, don't put a bunch of stars put the names out. You're like, it was Joe Smith, and it was on this day, and I hit him with a freaking twister and broke his spine.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
Us.